We are heading for Grenada and leaving Trinidad. 3 weeks later and our yard time is up. Feels great. I'm so glad that we prepared some food. It's quite bumpy here as you leave Trinidad because the currents meet, and we are pointing as high up the wind as possible just because the current is pushing us the wrong direction. So it's a bit bumpy, not maybe the most fun start, but we have dinner, the sun is setting, and yeah, we have about 4 to 5 hours and then it should be definitely better. So, cheers! When sailing from Trinidad, the equatorial current has a strong northwesterly flow. At the same time, during the first hours of the trip, you need to take a northeasterly course to get around the oil and gas fields. This means that you will have a pretty rough time beating against the current, wind and waves before you are eased enough to turn and head more north to Grenada. Good morning! The sun is rising and we have had a quite terrible night actually. We both have fed the fishes, so to say. And yeah, it was just really messy to get around the gas fields. But now we have like 30 minutes to Grenada and the sun is rising, so it's been a pretty fast sail, which is really good. My stomach feels completely empty and it will be nice to have some breakfast once we get there. But yeah, not a very good first shakedown sail.
Crazy amount of mast. I didn't expect that it should be so many masts since it's still hurricane season here in the Caribbean, and ARC haven't made landfall in the Caribbean yet, so the amount of boats should not be that big, I thought. But yeah, since Grenada is a hurricane hole and all these bays is very well protected, maybe that's why there's a lot of boats still here. I don't know.
We are, after a few days, slowly getting back to like some kind of normal cruising life. We actually changed anchorage already after the first night because it was super rolly in Prickly Bay, and after sailing with that seasickness, just bobbing around in the anchorage was not very great for any of us. So we changed to a much calmer bay, Woburn Bay, and we have been here for a few days now, just trying to get everything back to normal, starting up all the systems, checking that everything works. We got the dinghy running this morning, which was great, and now I'm doing some editing and Marcus is trying to get the water maker running.
Yes, that's my project for the day. Like Emmy said, I just got the outboard engine for the dinghy working. We did some maintenance on it in Trinidad, and now I will try to get the water maker running. Hopefully everything goes well, and so we can get some fresh water again. Hello water maker friend. Will you please run smooth this season? I've just gone through the manual, how to do a startup after winterizing or a long-term stop. So I will check all the valves, check all the fittings and other stuff, so all the tightenings and everything looks okay. And then I will bleed the system, just run it through so we can get all the chemicals out of the system. And then I will run the water maker with pressure, see if there's any leak, and let it run for 5 to 10 minutes. And then we will probably have nice and fresh water again. We will see with the ppm monitor if that's the case, and also check how it tastes, of course. I think I've got all the stuff in the manual right. We just have to get through all the parts for the water maker. It's a bit putting up floorboards and cushions and other stuff to get access to all the parts, but I'm getting there. Checking so the seawater flows in normally and cleaning the filters. So all the valves are open, and so far everything looks okay. So we just do a second check, and then I will do a startup. So it's time to switch on the water maker and see if it works. Make some sound, see if the water comes out like it should from the react. Looks good, right? So now it should run for 5 minutes, and then should I try to make fresh water for 10 minutes, and then I will see if the ppm and the fresh water is good enough. Everything seems to be working so far, and there's no leaks. There's small stuff in the freshwater line, some flakes, probably from the water has been sitting there for half a year. So, but the water tastes good, and we have a good flow. So just to get all the pipes and lines cleaned, and then we can start filling our tanks again. Of course, different schools of this, what people think is a good ppm or not, and ppm varies also if the water is hot or cold, or if you're in a very salty environment or a not salty environment. I'm talking about the seawater salt. But in this case we have as our guideline below 500 is good. We have never been above 500, and we always also taste the water, so it doesn't taste any salt or other stuff. Now we're below 300 and the water tastes really good. It's very smooth, the water from the water maker. It's really like silky. It's not something that you're used to from the tap at home. And no chlorine or something else, so it's very nice. We have now run the water maker for around 3 hours, and everything looks tight and not leaking, and we have a lot of fresh water in our tanks. We're full again, and the water maker is rinsed and ready for storage until next week when we fill them up again, I think. So very nice to have checked of that one, and everything worked fine.
Good morning everyone and welcome to beautiful Grenada. Marcus is getting the dinghy ready behind me, and we are soon getting on a trip around the island. We rented a taxi for the day, together with a crew of 3 other boats. Driving in Grenada is a crazy business, with lots of traffic, narrow roads and sharp turns. It's a bit hard not to get car sick while driving through the villages, but once you get a bit higher up, the clearer and cooler air makes it easier, as you look out over the stunning views. But safe to say, we all were pretty glad that we were not the ones driving today. We are heading for the waterfalls. We have our walking sticks and are heading through the jungle. It should just be a 15-minute walk, 20 minutes maybe. And then there should be 2 waterfalls. The waterfalls we arrived to are the first 2 of the 7 sister waterfalls. It really is a special feeling swimming in this fresh water. Compared to the 30+ degrees seawater that we are used to, this feels refreshing and so smooth against your skin, but it's also a bit cold in the beginning. After the hike, we had a quick lunch at the local restaurant before driving to a chocolate factory. We visited the Diamond Chocolate Factory and got a guided tour and, best of all, a chocolate tasting of their local products.
Actually used to be a rum distillery. Once it's not ready for harvesting, and once it's ready for harvesting, it starts turning yellow. It starts turning yellow.
Smell it.
Smell good. So this is actually what the beams would be looking like. Up in here is the sorting room. This is Jocelyn and this is Steven. So they're the ones that's going to be doing the sorting process.
And then if it's going to rain, you can slide it back up. Okay, cool.
So you can actually see the difference from this here to those that are in the sorting room.
It was a long day, but it feels so good to be back to cruising life and get this second season to explore the Caribbean. This is the beginning on our journey back north, so make sure to follow along as we point our bow towards new destinations. Subscribe to the channel and we will be so happy if you give the video a thumbs up and leave us a comment. It helps us a lot. You can also show your support to our production by joining the virtual crew over at Patreon. Check out the link on how you can participate and get a few extra perks. All your support means a lot to us, so thank you. We hope we will see you again next week as we leave Grenada behind us and continue our sailing adventure. Until then, fair winds.